we always say, that is development of the engine. Panhard would refine it. Interestingly, that technology would then go back to Mercedes. They would take the chassis technology, and Mercedes in 1903 would create the biggest technological jump in the history of motor cars. Never surpassed arguably the most important automobile ever made, the 1903 60-horse Mercedes. Never has there been a car that represented such a giant leap forward in technology. It'd be like if Tesla today came out with a car that did 400 miles per hour, or more. It was that kind of jump where it was the biggest game changer, because you had a car that, suddenly could do 90 miles per hour. It had full mechanical valves, and it was basically the formula that would be the same for a high-performance car for a decade after that was defined there.
Interestingly enough, just to take a slight, actually it's not even a detour, it's actually just a direct line to an exhibition which I hope many of you saw here at the Audrain, which was Women Take the Wheel. And we have that wonderful Mercedes chain drive car, Simplex, that was in the exhibition that Miss Vanderbilt drove in 1905 on the occasion of her debut, and that was an amazing. It was a supercar.
It was a supercar. Interestingly, it sounds like a minor thing, but the big innovation on that car, there were some things regarding the ignition and stuff like that, but the main thing was it was a T-head engine with mechanically activated inlet valves. Up till that point, cars had vacuum actuated automatic valves. So the intake valve was opened by suction. 1890s, hot tube ignition. It's more fun. It's more fun to do an event like that.
Because it's a bigger challenge, or?
It's a bigger challenge. The cars are wonderful, and there's more, I don't want to say more different, but more, that they're
more dissimilar from what it is that we're used to.
Everything later. Yeah. And those really early cars are the most special things, I think. They're the most interesting. Because I think one thing that we haven't talked about that is important, I think, to take into account with these cars is one of the great joys of these cars for their owners, not only are they just wonderful to look at and mechanically, the relationship you develop with these vehicles as you learn to use them and how to drive these things really well. Robert Brooks, who sadly died last year, who was a racing driver and founder of Bonhams, basically, and big early car enthusiast. But he was a really good racing driver. And his favorite car to do the run was a 1895 Peugeot. And he said it is just like driving a Formula race car. You have to learn that car, and when you can make that thing sing, that is the greatest satisfaction.
Large hammers and what else?
It's I think the most common thing I see is related to the intake valves of the motor, the automatic intake valves. They either break a spring, or something gets, the keeper unseats, or something gets stuck in them. My tool bag is always minimal. Like, I can fix just about anything I ever need with 3 tools. I usually just bring a screwdriver and a wrench and pliers, maybe one other thing. I carry very little as far as tools, because those kind of cars, they're really intended to be able to fix with just minimal tools like that. But other than that, it's the same things that get a lot of older cars, particularly ones that don't get used that much, fuel system. That's the other thing, debris, clogged up fuels. But it's usually something that, you can kind of figure out and clear up and be on your way again in a few minutes. And that's why when you get to the finish line of that event, I mean, you feel like you climb like Mount Everest. I mean, there's like a very satisfying to see that finish line.